Hello everyone, hello, Katie here, and my previous video was about using the safe reset. I'm going to link to that below, and that's going through the steps of scanning, adjusting, feeling it, and recognizing what is enough or planning for what is enough. But today I wanted to just add on to that a little bit because I had some really great comments on there about enough and about tackling things on your good days. So I'm just to give an example of kind of how my last couple of weeks have gone. I have family in town right now. We're about halfway through our 2-week visit. It's been wonderful. It's been wonderful. And so I'm starting a new week here. I haven't really even put much down since the plan with me, which just came out on Sunday. And I wanted to look back over, we're doing a lot more physically. We've been running around to Amsterdam and the coast, and we have a few more things we want to hit up. So this was kind of this last week. I don't even remember what happened on Thursday meal-wise. I'm drawing a blank right now. I am kind of keeping up with some other planning. But then the week before that was a ton of to-dos to just get everything ready for the visit. And I was staying on top of things here. So yesterday, we had kind of a down day. So this was on a Sunday here. Let's see. Here we go. We had gone to Amsterdam, ran around, and we're like, we need a down day. We had gone to the beach, the Amsterdam down day. So, and my family who's visiting needs downtime too. But notice in the morning, they kind of popped up and they're like kind of ready to go. And so I had another family member take them. It sounds horrible, but take them for a walk because they are walkers. They love to walk. No shade to that at all. But I was like, oh, wait, I can get a bunch of work done today. So I go through and I'm getting a bunch of work done. And towards the end of the day, I'm like, great. Now I can clear up the beginning of this week here. So technically today is King's Day, Monday. You're going to be seeing it the next day, but I wanted to do some flower gardens and a boat tour still in here. And then we have on Sunday, we still have our museum tours. And I know this is not like a typical work week, but I do want to talk about like energy and like what is enough and how to kind of approach it. So having a good day here, I was like, oh, I got a lot done. I feel good about how much I got done. Then I realized I have one more this video to film. And I was like, oh, that's a bummer. I didn't get enough done, right? So I wanted to kind of talk about that. Like, what is enough? There's that guilt, right? Of like, I could have done more. I could have like squeezed in a little bit more because I have this open window, but I am feeling it today. I'm just going to be honest because like I did swing the pendulum too far yesterday and I think I should have backed off a bit more. And part of it now is, so my family wanted to go out and see the King's Day activities. And I was like really pushing myself to go, okay, let's just go out and walk this. And I realized I kind of hit a wall. I was like, I swung my pendulum too far, and it's okay. Like this is not like the big thing that I want to catch here. It's not like if I miss some of this, I'm going to be sad. It's not like that at all. But I just kind of wanted to go, wait, I should have used my safe framework a bit yesterday to check in with myself. What is enough? How can I pace myself a little bit more? Because when you have chronic illness, when you are neurodivergent, when you are walking through depression, I say like pacing yourself through. You have to be very gentle with yourself during those times. you're just on a different timeline. And I discovered this years ago of just making my schedule a lot lighter, that catching up doesn't really exist. You're just on another timeline, and there's certain things that your body is going to limit you with how much you're getting done. And the enough part is hard to identify. It's like, well, maybe I only did this and I don't feel that satisfaction from that enough. Like, and reconciling with that. So how do you, navigate what is enough? And I think for me, this is from my perspective, and I just thought I'd offer this to see if it would help anyone else, is looking at like, what is the minimum floor? What is that minimum that would keep me going? And what am I feeling in my body, recognizing that I may not even make that minimum. So it's okay to not make that minimum. So for me, I filmed like 3 videos yesterday, and that was too much. The minimum would have been like 1, because I was trying to just kind of stay one ahead and pace myself through it. But I was just like, great, I have my setup. Everything's kind of set up. I had great lighting. I had, a bunch of things. But I didn't recognize that after the first 1 or 2 that I needed to pull back. Some of the signs were I was taking deeper breaths. Like I was like, okay, I've gotten this far. I can go a little further. And that was one of those signs for me personally when I know I'm pushing it. Another time is like when I am being perceived of being lazy or not. And when you have family in the home and family that you grew up with over since childhood, you do feel like you are being looked at the lens through, okay, you're still 10 years old, right? And that's hard to just get away from. And there also is a lot of, wait, you're a grown up in your 40s too. It's such a strange dichotomy of like wherever you're at, there's your current age and then also that 8-year-old age. And so I was letting my feelings of being perceived as like not enough or not doing enough or not being active enough. But I had to recenter myself after I got the work done yesterday. Really, like I reckoned with myself last night of just like, wait, what am I doing here? Like I had made a plan to parcel this out a little bit more, that I would be doing more throughout this week in little moments. But I just got this idea in my head that if I just batched so much today, I could be free. And I think that's where I went wrong. So along with those like heavier sighs, what the other part I was noticing was this kind of like, can I play the game and beat the clock? Like mentality of like, can I actually go and do this thing and overwork myself? And I did not think about the after at all. That, okay, I'm probably going to really feel it afterwards. Because, a lot of my work is kind of sitting and researching and coming up with ideas and things that sometimes that burns me out almost a bit more than just physically walking around. And I think that's also what gave me the false sense of security yesterday was, wow, we walked all around Amsterdam and we also kind of conserved our energy at the end by catching a ride home instead of taking train, bus, because it takes a while and it does drain you. And so I kind of was like, oh, wow, I paced myself really well on the Amsterdam trip. And you can apply this towards a work day of like, okay, I had a gentle morning. I got into things and I felt like I did enough, but also I felt like it was enough for my body as well. So it's those two things, right? It's enough that I feel I'm making traction, but also enough limit for my body. And then at the end of the day, I realized we were all getting tired. And, you know, with aging parents, you have to take care of them. You really do. And when we got home after that ride, instead of all the buses and stuff, I saw how much more energy they had. And I really appreciated that we did do that. So, and I'm thinking about how to sprinkle that in for this next week. But it's that gentle morning, getting things, you know, lined up. And also doing, you know, work before that I had like outline ready for my not my newsletter, my podcast. Like I have that outline done, then I can sit down and get it done quickly. And I did. And that to me is like setting it up for success. It took 10 minutes to come up with the outline, and it took like 20 minutes to sit down, get everything ready, record it real quick, and just have the file. I have not edited it and done the other things, but just to break it down into smaller pieces. And when you break it down and spread it over a week, it can really help divide that mental fatigue of like, okay, I'm doing a little bit here, I'm doing a little bit here, I'm doing a little bit here. And this was yesterday, this huge day of mental fatigue, of trying to jump through a lot of hoops, come up with a lot of ideas. I also recorded my next April, where in the Sterling ink, I'm doing all these kind of like different layouts, and it's this persona that I'm thinking deep about. I'm realizing those videos are burning me out a bit. And I just decided to tack that on to a longer day. So my judgment was off. My adjustments weren't doing well for the day. I was making these adjustments later in the day that really were way and above my body enough. And I was not recognizing that. So as I'm going through this day here, like I wake up and I'm like, okay, my scan is my body feels better than I thought. The adjustments are, well, maybe I can get 1 or 2 things done today instead of just 1. And then I'm working into the afternoon going, oh, wouldn't that be amazing if I got a week's worth of content filmed in one day. And I kept on that fallacy of like, yeah, just do that. You're on a roll. You're not going to burn out. And then I did this whole thing in the evening. I even filmed in the evening when the light wasn't great, but I did get it done. And I'm now telling myself never again, because my body's enough was done way before that. And I wasn't feeling my feels. I wasn't feeling that like I needed to process being perceived as, you know, a member of my family. Like my immediate family here that I live with doesn't care, right? And I would also say the family that's visiting actually doesn't care, but I was not processing that. I was not stepping through that and going, wait a minute, feel these feelings here, recognize some of the signs that are coming up, and recognizing when that enough is. So I should have done a second scan right around 3 p.m. here is when I was like heading into, that was my decision point where I was like, wait, I should keep going. And I didn't do a scan there. To go through the safe process, the scanning, adjusting appropriately, feeling that of like, okay, let's take a more of a break in the evening here and pace it. I got stars in my eyes thinking, we need to see flowers, we need to do other things. But on another day, you know, after my family goes home, it could totally be like, I need to get the groceries, I need to clean the whole house, I need to do all these things in one day, to have a totally free next 2 days to do something else, right? And that's where I went wrong. So having that safe check-in, that safe reset midpoint can work really well. So it's just so hard I've always been an overachiever. I've always been like, push yourself, you can do it. And then you get the kudos after, right? You get rewarded because people saw that, oh, you put some great effort into it. And I am trying to pull back from that, from getting those rewards. And that's something, I'm learning and recognizing when that enough is. So I just wanted to share that because I think, it's when you get those like really good mornings and you feel really good about things, and it can be really hard to just want to push. And that's when I know I push too hard. You're just like, finally, a day that I feel better. Finally, a day that maybe I'm not having as many flare-ups. Maybe I'm not, I'm feeling more positive about things. Maybe I'm not as overwhelmed about things. And those are the times where you have to be like, hold yourself in a hug in those moments and really see that you're worth and it could be attached to worth. It could be attached to a lot of different feelings within yourself. I don't want to assume any of that, but I do think that going through the safe process there, the safe reset, can really help you. So, scanning your whole body for anything that's coming up. Sometimes we ignore those little things. And sometimes that scan is like, oh my gosh, I feel so great. Where can I catch up, and really reconciling with like, it's not about catching up. It's about still pacing yourself and knowing what's enough for that day. Making adjustments. Maybe you can add one more thing, but do another check-in at that point when you get the second thing done. That was where I went wrong. And feel the feels. You can feel happy too. You can be like, I got 2 things done and I'm going to have all the feels about it. And I can celebrate myself. Like, there's going to be some of those days as well. And then recognizing what is enough for your body. What are the signs? Like, really writing down signs for you of like, this is when something, whether I'm taking deeper breaths, whether I am feeling it in my knees, or whether I'm feeling it in my brain that I'm just overwhelmed, like I just cannot process the information coming at me, or I don't know, there's going to be a myriad of things, but it's going to be very specific for you. When is that, like, when are you reaching that limit? When is it enough? So anyway, if you haven't seen my first video, I'll have it linked down below to go over the process. But I just wanted to add this one on because it can kind of, I just love the feedback that people were resonating with it, and also recognizing on those good days that you can easily, I hear so many people easily overdo it. I also think it's very important that when you have these pendulum swings, to not beat yourself up about it. Sometimes we are making the best decisions with the information that we have. And that's why it's important to do kind of a reset like this, because then you acquire more information. I was running off of kind of false information because I didn't stop to collect more info. So if I had kind of gone, okay, pause, collect info about what your body is up to, what your brain is up to, where you are emotionally with all of this, because these Sterling Ink sticker videos are much more emotional than I thought. It was that I'm really digging into another version of myself, where possibilities of where I could have gone, and it is deeper than I thought. But I also very much enjoy them at the end of like, wow, look what I covered. And it's part of my healing process right now. That's why I'm going through them, because I love, my autistic brain loves the collection part of it and the analysis of it all and digging in and kind of like almost writing a story and then backing out and just saying goodbye to it. But I am way underestimating what that is doing to of how I'm fitting it within all my days. And I'm trying to see how can I break that up over time. And yet I'm not beating myself up about it. I'm trying not to. I'm beating myself up a little bit today. And I'm trying to go, no, what I thought yesterday doing this work was that I could handle it. And I needed to stop and get more information about where my body was at. And the reason why the acronym is SAFE is because of a lot of the things that we are doing to navigate life is about that safety, to have a place to put it all. Like, I consider my planner part of my sanctuary, if not one of my biggest sanctuaries of putting everything in here. But it's safe to make mistakes in here. It's safe to go, oh, well, I'll work a whole bunch and I'll pencil that in. But it's also a big reason why I use an erasable pen was, I can change my plans. I can reroute if I put more information together and understand that maybe this is not the best for me. So it's a playground where I can put information in and move things around. And that's what I'm doing even for this next week of like, I'm trying to figure out, I have not cemented down a few things in here, but I know we're going to do like one or two of them. And I know that this is a safe environment for me to do this. It's a safe environment to look at where I'm at, do a safe reset, a scan of my body, and know that I'm pulling back on my own judgment of myself and seeing that I can be gentle with myself and that I can not judge what I'm doing and that I have opportunities to be kind to myself and to have the whole process itself hold me, to have that safety net of recognizing what is best for me moving forward. And so that's why I picked that acronym. Is SAFE to me is a really big part of how we show up in the world, because we have that support under us, that we have this environment that is, non-judgmental as much as it can be. Because I'm talking about judgmental of myself, just being judgmental of myself. Surrounding yourself with people who don't judge you as well and being kind to me as well, or maybe will remind me, hey, maybe you need to pull back a little bit. Anyway, that's why I think it's really important to have that type of tool where it just holds you and lets you gently step through it without judgment and gives you opportunities to do some really kind decision making and choices for yourself. So let me know if you like this video, and like it down below. Subscribe if you want to hear more like this. My next step is coming up with some tools to help with this process, this safe reset. And so I'm creating those, but I'm also a family in town, so I have to pace myself. So those are coming. If you'd like to hear more about those, subscribe and leave a comment. I would love to have this conversation keep going, because it also just makes the community better, the tools better, the conversation better, the awareness better. So comment down below. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Bye.